Nope, thank you.
Okay, have you already done roll call?
I have not. We'll start first with the accessibility statement. Do you want that? I can read it. Are you on your phone? Because I could read it otherwise.
I think I can see it now.
Okay, perfect.
Here we go. So this is accessibility statement and Title VI non-discrimination statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. The Notice of Non-Discrimination Rights and Protections to Beneficiaries with regard to federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in this meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. Please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833 for more information. Thank you.
So now for the roll call, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Will you do that, Mary?
I will. Becky Coletta.
Here.
Stephen Santusonio.
Present.
Frank Staffier.
Present.
And Val Massard.
Present.
And for staff, we have Megan Fournier, Charles Kilmer, and Brenda Robeson, in addition to myself.
Awesome. Okay. First on our agenda are the September 21st, 2022 meeting minutes. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding those minutes? And hearing none, does anyone want to make a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Mary, you want to do a roll call?
I will. Becky Coletta.
Yes.
Stephen Santusonio.
Yes.
Frank Staffier.
Yes.
And Val Massard.
Yes.
That's unanimous.
Okay. Next up are the financials. Brenda, do you want to walk us through those? Thank you.
Yes. Statement of expenditures report shows total expenses for the month at $162,523.06. Moving ahead to the cash position report shows income for the month of $346,504.30. Disbursements for the month were $214,655.88. The total cash available at month's end was $1,145,974.54. The OPEB account had a loss of $46,958.95, bringing the ending balance in the OPEB account down to $840,096.41. Moving ahead to the budget resources report, total receipts for the month being $346,504.30 brings the total year-to-date receipts so far to $702,523.43. The AAA report, outstanding funds for pass-through funds for FY22 AAA programs is $1,353,663.51. Outstanding funds for AAA admin and ombudsman for FY22 is $235,766.21. This brings the total balance for all AAA programs to the total outstanding balance for all AAA programs to $1,589,423.72. And by the way, at this point, a lot of that has been received. So next month, the report will look much better. The voluntary, I'm sorry?
I just said yay.
Oh, yeah, I know, yay is right. Voluntary transportation account, the beginning balance was $178,379,038. Restricted fund payments to volunteers were a total of $1,047.67. Donations received were a total of $277.01, bringing the ending balance in the fund to $177,608.72. Moving ahead to the ROM August 2022 statement and activity. The balance at the beginning of the month was $175,087.25.
That's just up top.
Yes, it's at the top. I'm so sorry.
Under 920. There we go. Perfect.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. Receipts were $5,850, bringing the total receipts in FY23 to $17,550. Expenses for the month were $4,021.91, bringing the total expenses in FY23 to $18,701.88. That brings the ending statement balance to $176,273.57. Moving ahead to the budget spend down report. Page 1, total expenditures were $465,455 for the month. The spent to date percentage rate sits at 19.21%. The total ideal percentage in the third month of the fiscal year would be 25%, which shows that we have a 5.79% surplus. Page 2 budgeted income shows no changes. Page 3 pass-through funds also shows no changes. And then lastly is the list of the combined accounts payable and cash transfers for the month. And that's all for the regular financials. Anybody have any questions?
No, but Brenda, the statement would be from the financials is that we are in a solid financial standing.
Yes, for sure. So far, so good.
And outside of the 45, 46, whatever $1,000 loss, but that's everybody's account. That's been kind of across the
Right.
board, but
Right.
Just
There-
wanted
and
just to
plus,
highlight
there's still
those.
tons of money in
Mhm.
that account. So,
correct.
okay.
So with that, just on the financials, Madam Chair, a motion would be required if there were no other questions.
If there are no questions, I think we all understand the OPEB lost this period. Would anybody make a motion to accept the financials as presented by Brenda?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second,
So
All
on
those
the
in
mo-
favor, Mary?
Yep, Becky Coletta,
Yes.
Stephen Santasonio,
Yes.
Frank Staffier,
yes,
and Val Massard. That's
Yes.
unanimous.
That's the one thing about having a small committee. Okay, now we have the status of the audit RFP covering fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 25. Brenda, how are we doing in that RFP?
Okay, I sent out a total of 9 RFPs. We have not gotten any return, but remember, they're not due until the beginning of December. A few have requested a copy of the audit, which is, to be expected. And one person wanted to meet with us to having some general questions about the audit. So I did meet with him. It was a very nice gentleman. And he just was asking questions about, very general questions about past audit processes and if there had ever been problems with the audit. And if we generally stayed with the same auditor, if we replaced them every 3 years, that sort of thing. So he was going to send information about his meeting with us to his supervisor. And then once that's approved, he was going to put together the RFP. So that's pretty much all there is to report on that at this point.
Thanks, Brenda. We should have, again, they're due, but we will be looking to have members of this committee serve on the selection committee as we did the last time. So I can just take the note down. I know we don't have everyone, but I don't know if there's anybody that's interested in serving on the selection committee.
I would be happy to. Is there any reason why we wouldn't just have the whole finance committee?
Just because if we have 9 members, we're going to need to take a look at criteria. Like, probably don't want to have all 9 come before the finance committee because it's a very lengthy time. So I would say have it be reduced down to like 3, particularly finance. I mean, we may only have 1 as well, and that would be the easy processes. But if in case there are more than 3, it would be great to have members of the committee serve on the selection. We have some criteria from the last time we selected Markham that we will probably reutilize those criteria.
Okay.
Is Markham part of the RFP process this time for me.
Yes,
They-
definitely, yes.
They were invited, but we have not received an
Okay.
interest from them yet, right, Brenda?
No, or anyone
And
else
there-
for that
And
matter.
there's, except for the gentleman that called you. So there is some interest and there's some that have said that they're not interested either. So,
Yes,
so there's still time. Again, it's not till December is when the deadline. So
Okay.
ideally, at that point, but I just to start putting out that we would like to make sure that it's just not staff making the recommendation, that it's part of the, just to, if there are so many that we would just want to have it be pared down.
yes.
Okay, so just let Mary know if you're interested or not interested in being on the audit committee. On the audit selection committee.
Correct. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, next we have Mary's going to update us on having a consultant work on our fiscal policies.
Correct, and thank you. This will be very brief. So I reached out to both Bob Moran first, as it was recommended, and Bob has lots of family things going on, and so he said thank you for thinking of him, but he is not able to participate. I then went to Doug Silvestri, who is very interested, particularly since he deals with a lot of federal grants, and so we will be putting together a scope of services for Doug Silvestri to work with Brenda on the fiscal policies. That has not been done yet, but will be done. Looking to try to at least get some beginning works between now and the end of the calendar year, with the preparation to having some recommendations to the Finance Committee. I'm looking at probably like March of next year, and with some, again, proposed financial policies. So that's the update so far.
Okay, thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
And next we have Stephen Frank to talk about the status of the pay scale discussion.
Okay, Frank, you want me to start?
Yeah, would you, Stephen, to save my voice,
Oh, no
please?
problem at all, and feel free to jump in and if you have anything to add. So Frank, earlier in the year, Frank had a great idea to come up with some sort of an award, and we're going to call it a milestone award to sort of reward employees for longevity, and for employees in good standing. We're giving them an additional award, say on intervals of every 5, 10, 15-year service to the council. And we sort of talked and we bounced around some ideas, and we were thinking that, for those employees that are in good standing, say at those 5, 10-year and so on intervals, in addition to whatever salary increase that they were eligible for, we'd also give them an additional increase, a milestone award, we're going to call it. And then, that would be to employees, I think, who are in good standing. That wouldn't go to anybody. I think it would be more of a discretionary situation. So as long as they're in good standing, they would get the award on those 5, 10, every 5-year intervals. We think it's good because it rewards longevity, loyalty to the council. It's a good retention tool for good employees, and it's also a good recruiting tool. Again, we met, Frank and I met with Mary and Charlie on this recently, and we bounced around some ideas, and nothing's been finalized, and I know they're going to take it back and discuss it further, and I think more than likely we'll probably talk about it in more detail in January, but that's where we're at right now. And I think it was a great idea from Frank, and it's, and I think it's sustainable because, not everybody's going to hit 5-year marks all at the same time. So it's not that much of a out-of-pocket expense that the council couldn't absorb. So, Frank, do you want anything?
Yeah, Stephen, and I think one of the important things is that this, in other words, if you've been here for 5 years, you don't get retroactive.
Yeah.
This is only to
Yeah.
keep the employees that we have. In today's market, it's very hard to keep good people. I have 3 or 4 grandsons, and every time they turn around, somebody's offering them a job.
Mhm.
And the people that we have, like Stephen says, we're not talking about everybody. It'll be one person for 5, maybe 2 for 10, one other person for 15, it will not impact us greatly financially. And I apologize for my voice, but thank you, Steve. You've been a pleasure to work with.
Same here, Frank, and thanks you for expanding on my idea, on your ideas. And again, it's a great idea, and that's where we're at. And does anybody have any questions?
And no, my only question was whether you guys had talked about whether it would be a set amount or a percentage.
We threw out an idea, a starting point of say 3%. That could change again. It's such a we're going to talk more details to see what makes sense, but we just threw out 3% as a starting point. Again, that could go up or down when we really get into the weeds on this.
And so from my perspective, Charlie and I brought this up just to Brenda this Monday morning on our finance meeting, and we need to really put some of those ideas into numbers and what it means on what's the fiscal impact. But I know from our discussion, we appreciate the council members looking for ways to provide tools to keep our well and high functioning employees here. And it is an incentive that I think that would be appreciated. But again, it all comes down to numbers, and we had not spent any time. Brenda, as you see, that she's going through the audit right now, so we want to make sure that she gets through this time, and then we're going to take that up, as Stephen said, come up with some real numbers that and some scenarios that can give the membership and the finance meetings, the finance committee members, an idea about what the impact would be.
And Becky, may I say something also? This is an employee in good standing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I don't do my job, or if Steve, Mary calls him in and says, look, we're very happy to have you, but I don't feel that you gave us your best effort. And that's an incentive in itself. I mean, if you're going to be working, Becky, and you're going to get an extra 3%, you're going to think about being a good employee. And I think that's what we are all trying to get to,
Right.
is we'd love to have the good employees stay.
And just a reminder, we do have our evaluations twice a year, mid-year and an end of year. Those are really, we emphasized it at the recent retreat. Those really are valuable. So we also asked the staff to provide input. How do you want to be evaluated? So this is really like a win-win. They know that they're going to be tested basically, or they're going to be evaluated on achieving, and those in terms of who are highly productive. They'll be nice. It will be a really good way of having those evaluations then say you are overachieving, and for that overachieving we want you to continue to stay, and you have 2 more years, and please stay on, and there's going to be this potential of an incentive for you in 2 years. That would do it for me. It really would. But anyway, but again, thank you for the opportunity to have that conversation.
Great. Thank you guys for taking it on.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, so more to come on that. I think that brings us to the end of our agenda tonight. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to bring up before we take a motion to adjourn?
So Madam Chair, before, because as you note on the agenda, it says next month's meeting. So that is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And so I know, so I wanted to bring this up, put it on there as a placeholder, but because we're having the summit on December 8th, I didn't know if we wanted to keep that meeting and move a finance meeting to December. It won't be a council meeting, it won't be a full council meeting, but that is a decision that the members would need to weigh in on. Again, it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Mary, it's actually the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, excuse me.
Just
duh.
wanted to mention it.
It's been that kind of a day. So it's a Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Thank you, Megan.
Never mind.
Never mind is right.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry.
thinking that it becomes difficult to schedule a meeting in December as well. So I would think we need a meeting one of those months.
I would-
Mary?
If your Tuesday, if the Tuesday after Thanksgiving works for November 29th, I would recommend that as a nice sweet spot for us. So if there's any items, other than the financials, I do not see any really highlighted items that need to be addressed at that point. So having as a placeholder, at least it's the financials can be reviewed. So when we get into January, it really will be one less month to have to review simultaneously.
Are we having a board meeting on Wednesday, the 30th? We are we not?
No, we are not.
Oh, we're not. We're skipping November.
We have actually always skipped November.
Oh,
In fact, right, actually, Charlie, there's sometimes been like a December 1st meeting. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. It's a combined November, December. They would
Okay.
take up the financials in early December because that's traditionally when they would do the salary adjustment review.
But since we switched that to having it be in concert with our annual budget, so unless I'm missing something, Charlie, do you think that's something that we can just have a finance meeting? Do you think we need to have a full council meeting?
I think the finance would be sufficient,
Yeah. Because then the following week will be, well, the December 8th, we're going to have that summit that we're going to be utilizing members' time to come together.
What time will that be, Mary?
The
On the
December, so the November 29th is going to be 5:45.
Yeah, I've got that. I'm talking about the December 8th meeting.
December 8th, that's going to be in person. And I believe, Megan, we were talking about 5:36. Is that what we're?
Yeah, sorry, I'm Seamus. Yeah, most likely either 5:36. I think it's TBD, but around that time.
Okay,
And that's usually a 2-hour event, pretty much,
is.
right?
That'll be like we did last year at Meadowbrook, where it was really bringing members together with the stakeholders and having conversation and not a whole lot of speaking, but really just really showcasing again all the work that's being done by the council and by the staff members.
thank you very much.
All right, so for now, we'll keep the Tuesday, November 29th at 5:45,
Perfect.
since we haven't really heard any objections.
Val, does that
And-
work for you, Val?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now we're done.
Okay, so I think that brings us to a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Second,
Thank you. I think we can do this on a voice vote. All in
Correct.
favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, see you guys next month.
No,
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll see you tomorrow night.
That's right. Perfect.
All right, take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.